So Corey Vahle and Hack Culling in this light heavyweight bout. Coming up next here on the Solano College Sports Network. Brian Nelson here with Stephen Babb and Nikki Raquejo. Stephen, tell us a little bit about the man about to approach the cage, Hack Culling.
So Hack Culling is coming in without any camo experience. However, he is an experienced fighter with boxing, kickboxing, and wrestling in his repertoire out of Fairfield, California. He is representing Team Hawaiian in the Filthy Few.
And Corey Vahle is his opponent at 31 years of age from Sonoma, California, representing First to Fight as his team. Interesting, both of these fighters kind of have similar backgrounds in that both are boxers, both have a ground discipline where Culling has wrestling, Vahle has jiu-jitsu, and a striking discipline where Culling has kickboxing and Vahle has Muay Thai. So interesting matchup here. Jim Cooley with official introductions.
In the light heavyweight division, the man in charge when the action begins, the educator James Banshir. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, hailing from Sonoma, California. He represents First to Fight and Napa Fight Sports. He weighed in at 198.8 pounds. Tonight, he makes his mixed martial arts debut, Corey the Body Vahle. His opponent, across the cage in the red corner, makes his home in Richmond, California. He weighed in at 206.5 pounds, representing Team Hawaiian MMA. He also makes his mixed martial arts debut here this evening, Hack Culling.
So a couple of debut fighters here at Bay Area Combat Oktoberfest in the light heavyweight division. 3 2-minute rounds getting set.
Now, Brian, I grew up with a lot of Islanders, and there can be some scary folks. Shout out BJ Penn, one of my favorite MMA fighters of all time.
Yeah, so we'll see if he can bring the Island love here and the Island strength as...
Looked like he's going for an early knockout with the takedown.
Just a clubbing blow. That was an actual punch that knocked down Vahle.
Yeah, he just used his weight advantage and just overbodied him.
An 8-pound advantage in the weight category, coming in the weight as Culling looking to strike from the top.
Yeah, he definitely took advantage of his weight. He just like leaned down to
use his power. And an interesting tactic from Culling just to let Vahle stand up on his own. Clearly more comfortable striking.
With that right haymaker and another one followed up with a nice combination of left and rights. Culling.
Oh, going for a guillotine now to stop the striking barrage from Culling. And the referee tells him not to grab onto the trunks of Vahle. Knees to the thigh of Hack Culling.
With that flurry of punches, let's see if Culling is maybe a little winded and see what he can do here as Vahle tries to get that guillotine.
Yeah, he's moving his hand position, trying to get under the neck a little bit more. Trying to pull down and get his back. And no, hammer fists to the side of the face. And getting out of it is Culling, pressing forward. And Vahle knocks him down, following up.
I'm not sure if that was a knockdown or a fall back.
Yeah, back somersault.
It looked like a fall back. I think Culling definitely needs to be aware of his weight and his body. I think he's a little bit all over the place.
I agree. He's definitely trying to get those strikes to land for a possible TKO here in the first round.
He needs to control a little bit more.
Coming in on 10 seconds left in this round number 1. Hack Culling and Corey Vahle both posturing in the center of the cage, looking for some last-minute points before the round ends. But I think both fighters were ready to take a little breather there. And the big boys at 205 and 206 and 198.
Yeah, I'm pretty impressed with Corey Vahle's ability to keep his composure and, really keep his head in this fight and, really try to take a little bit of an advantage over Culling. And Culling's definitely getting a little bit winded out there with these haymakers and just trying to do, I think, too much in the first round.
So, Nicole, after watching that round 1, who do you give the edge to here, Culling or Vahle, after that round 1 performance?
This is a difficult one because Corey Vahle didn't do much, but he was defending a lot more, and he didn't fail when Culling was all over the place throwing punches after punches, but he did fall twice. So if it was me, I would give it to the blue corner.
Okay. And there's a Corey chant as you're giving your analysis there, as Napa showing their support for Vahle.
Culling is bleeding a little bit from his nose. Vahle was able to land a little bit in that round. And it'll be interesting to see the strategies from both corners in this second round.
As the cage door is locked and round 2 is underway. Both fighters touch gloves in the center of the cage.
Kind of sizing each other up, but now.
Yeah, I think this bout isn't going to go to the ground too much after Culling led up Vahle after an opportunity of knocking him down in the first round. If it's up to Culling, I think he wants to stay striking.
I'm a little bit worried about Culling because he's letting his guard down for a long time.
It's up to Vahle to capitalize on that and see that.
Yeah, Culling switching stances and kind of trying to switch up looks for Vahle, and Vahle just kind of trying to keep it calm.
Yeah, that's really smart to try to change the angle of the entry of those punches. A lot of the best strikers, it's not necessarily that they strike the hardest, but it's the angle that they come in that they don't see coming and can't protect from.
Really try to land squarely.
And there, that hit Vahle pretty flush, but Vahle showing his tough chin.
Yeah, it was a great right there by Culling.
But a pretty inactive first minute of this round number 1. Not a ton of points scored from either side.
Culling looking winded already. See if Vahle can take advantage.
And that's the thing about at these weight classes. I think cardio is very important. As again, losing his footing is Culling. Vahle trying to capitalize with some strikes. You can tell there's a lot of boxing experience in that background of Hat Culling, moving his head off the center line.
Yeah, but really putting his weight behind those punches, I don't think is going to work out for him too well. I think Vahle might be able to take advantage of that as the rounds go on.
So we're approaching 10 seconds left in this round number 2. And again, not a ton of activity in this round 2. So when it's a coin flip like this, round 3 is going to be very crucial for both of these fighters.
It is, because I think judges can honestly maybe go either way depending on what they saw.
I'm still rooting for corner blue. I know corner red is still giving a lot, but he's not being strong. He's not being well postured. So for me, it's blue.
Yeah, there's definitely not a lot of polish there coming from Culling. Vahle does definitely seem to have just a better poise out there in the cage.
Culling keeps falling.
So you are watching Bay Area Combat here on the Solano College Sports Network. Brian Nelson here with Stephen Babb and Nikki Requejo. We were adapting, folks, with our broadcast. We're having a lot of camera issues, so we're adjusting on the fly. So thank you for your patience for sticking around with us. A lot of exciting action so far with a lot of knockouts and round 3 to come from these 2 light heavyweights that is sure to be entertaining.
Yeah, I think stamina has definitely become a big factor here in round 3.
And sometimes when stamina goes, some desperation sets in and start throwing some big haymakers and try to end this fight as round number 3 is underway.
I'm predicting a knockout here.
Oh, and a kick gets caught by Culling. Culling fakes.
Vahle wants to take it to the ground, and Culling wants him to get up. Vahle's going to be in trouble here against the cage if he doesn't get up soon.
Yeah, Culling just waiting for Vahle to get up and try to strike, but Vahle able to get to his feet pretty much unscathed.
Yeah, Culling definitely wants to keep this standing up.
So it looks like his corner is advising him to use some of his leg kicks against Culling.
Culling comes in with some wild punches again.
The public is going crazy. They're rooting for Culling.
Yeah, the crowd's definitely in this one.
As we approach a minute gone by in this 3rd and final round between these 2 light heavyweights. At this point, you got to stop posturing. You have to find a rhythm eventually.
Some more wild punches there by Culling. Vahle able to keep his composure and try to land a few of his own.
So 45 seconds left in this fight as both men pretty content to just face off and faints quite a bit.
I think both of them think they have enough points if it goes to decision, but there's just not a lot of composure coming from Culling, and I think Vahle might think he has the upper hand.
I think this last 30 seconds, if somebody can blitz with a lot of activity, hit some strikes, they can steal this round 3. And just like that, Culling backs Vahle up to the cage.
Looked like he landed one good clean right on the chin of Vahle.
So 10 seconds left in this fight. You got to go all out here if you're both fighters. Try to score some last-minute points, and Culling just kind of clawing at Vahle, and that one is going to be it for round number 3 as Hat Culling and Corey Vahle go the distance here in Napa.
Great embrace there by both fighters. It was definitely a hard-fought fight on both ends. Even though there might not have been a lot of action, both gentlemen were definitely putting their all into it.
Yeah, I would say both these fighters a little tentative, but in this being both their first amateur fights, maybe kind of the thought of not wanting to lose your first fight is set in. We'll see what the judges say. I think the last 2 rounds are very hard to score. There's not a ton of activity from either fighter. And so while we have this little break and wait for the official decision, let's thank some of the sponsors of Oktoberfest. Pleasures Unlimited, Suncoast Awning, Ken Mays Plumbing, Classic Automotive Repair, Fight for a Cure, and Old Coots on Scoots are some of the wonderful people sponsoring this event here in Napa, California for Bay Area Combat. So on behalf of Steve Barnett, they'd like to thank you for your support. And we'll send it over to Jim Cooley with the official announcement of who won this fight.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 big rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards. All 3 judges see this bout the same way for your winner by unanimous decision. In the red corner, Hat Culling!
So Hat Culling gets his first career victory, moves to 1-0. Corey Vahle falls to 0-1. Next up, we have the big boys in a heavyweight bout, Delwin Garate and Mario Hernandez.